Okay, Alan, really great to talk to you. Maybe just a little bit before we start, can you just introduce a little bit about yourself and what you do at AirAsia?
My name is Allan Phang. I'm from AirAsia Group People and Culture. I'm currently handling employee engagement and internal branding, also known as All-Star engagement. So my role is to ensure all our 24,000 employees are on the same page when we launch a campaign or communicate a message. So that's my role. And so happened that eSports is something that we just started doing, and I'm driving it in Asia.
Okay, great, Alan. We will talk about esports in more detail a little bit later. Can you tell me just what AirAsia AllStars are? Because I don't think all of my readers or viewers know about it. What is the concept of AllStars?
Okay. So back then, when we first started, back in 2001, um, Tony Fernandes, our group CEO and co-founder, wanted Asia, our employees, not to be called a staff or employee, just like any normal company. He wanted them to be known as all staff. So he wants everyone to be like a staff, and encourages all our Asia staff to be known as all stars and want us to fly high. So
Okay,
that is the reason we are called all stars and not an employee or staff.
understand. Uh, Now that you mentioned your CEO Tony Fernandes, one of the things that I really wanted to talk about today is basically digital transformation because I at Diggintravel I'm really interested in all digital about airlines. He said that he wants AirAsia to become digital airline. Um, how do you see this transformation and your role as people and culture to fit in this transformation?
Number one is that, just an example, in US, a company as big as Amazon, the e-commerce company, they are now buying planes for their business
Yes.
to operate their e-commerce. So Tony Fernandez said we are doing the reverse engineering now, doing the opposite. We have the planes. We have
Okay.
200 over planes and up to 500 planes in order. And now we just need to reverse engineer and come up with a good system, and we can connect the e-commerce portion of it with our planes, and we already have all the cargo and belly space. It is a big impact. It will create a big impact.
Okay.
So right now we're going through a transformation whereby all the sister companies like Redbox, which is a cargo division, and also Azure Cargo, as well as digital companies like Touristly and VD, which is it's like a user-generated content, as
Okay.
well as like an online travel agent where you can book your travel itineraries for like special tours after booking your flight. So for my role, we see that we introduced Workplace by Facebook. It's
Okay.
like looks like Facebook, but it's called Workplace.
I
It's
know.
by Facebook, and it's for all our 24,000 employees to communicate with each other across the group.
When you come to
We used to use we
yeah.
used to you use Google Plus, but it was not working so well for us. So we decided to change to Workplace. Have you heard of Workplace before?
Yeah, I was just reading basically. Good that you mentioned it. Workplace. One of the things your CEO said that he won't use email anymore because it's old-fashioned. That he will just use Workplace, Facebook. Is this true?
Yes, it's true.
He
It's
really
true. He's
quit on
trying to
email.
minimize as much as possible where we can and put all important announcements or major announcements on the workplace instead of sending massive tons of email. So we are going through that transformation as well to use more workplace and open more groups, collaborative project groups, and even we are using bots right now for our operations. We're testing in beta testing, and also trying out the various applications that can be used together with Workplace. That's just one of it. The other one is also called Workday. Have you heard of Workday?
No, no, that one.
Okay, Workday is like a HR system solutions. and it's used by a lot of big companies in the world like Netflix,
Okay.
by Grab, and even by Walmart. Because it's a very big company. We are from 200 staff to 24,000 staff now, and we have a lot of people. And right now we're using a legacy system, which is very old, 16 years old. So it's time to change, and we're using Workday. It's something very user friendly as well. The user interface is great, and it makes our company go paperless. We spend less paper for approvals and passing this piece of paper to 4 or 5 different layers of management or HOD. So we're eliminating that process and putting it all digital. And approvals can be done at the click of a button instead of chop and sign
Yeah.
manually. And you can even use a mobile app to do it. Yeah, don't have to be in front of a laptop. You can even apply your leave to the phone. Yeah.
Understand. One of the things that you said in one of your prior YouTube interviews is that the vision for AirAsia is to be like a giant startup. Um, how difficult is to establish a, let's say, startup culture in a company with 20,000 employees, like you said, where usually, especially for airlines, there is like usually traditional hierarchical and silo organization.
So one of the ways is we employ all sorts of people, not just airline people, because Tony believes in like a group of dynamic people coming together from different backgrounds. We have all walks of life, from non-traditional backgrounds, and not just airlines. Of course, we have the airline people to handle the main core airline business, but for like marketing or branding, we hire out of the industry to give fresh and new ideas and perspective. And yeah, so we are always looking for ways to innovate, and we even set up. I believe we set up like a company to look out for other startups in Silicon Valley. No, we didn't set up. We work together with a company to work together with other new startups in Silicon Valley to ensure we are ahead of the curve and get the latest innovative platforms on board with us. So that's one of the ways we are looking at. And also, Tony is always open to new ideas. So we've been exploring things like blockchain or cryptocurrency, call it Bitcoin, BIGCOIN for the AirAsia Big Loyalty Program. It's still in exploration stages. Nothing is confirmed yet, but we are moving towards that direction. We don't want to miss the boat. Yeah. So
Okay.
always exploring, never say no.
Was this also why you did last year this first ever AirAsia hackathon that you worked on? What was that experience like?
It was interesting because usually other companies they have it locally with local people in the same country, but we flew in different people from around ASEAN to come fly over to our headquarters in Redhill in Kuala Lumpur, and they overnight and they had a limited amount of time to come up with a great app that will be viable and meaningful in the market. And it was interesting to know that there are a lot of talented youngsters out there who are very gifted in coding, especially, and we managed to see that happen throughout the hackathon. And we were really excited about it, and that's why Tony wants to find talent through different uh, non-traditional methods. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. One of the things that you mentioned before that was very interesting to me is like you want to be more like an e-commerce company, like a Amazon. One of the things that let's say iCar and we write is also ancillary revenue and this digital merchandising. Uh, I saw in your bio that you worked before in your early days in AirAsia also on ancillary. What do you think is the key challenge of to become really this digital merchandiser or retailer and good at ancillary revenue?
I think it's all about having the seamless experience from the moment you purchase a product and being able to collect it, whether on board the plane or after you deplane. So we are still working on it. We even just launched a POS system to capture data and also take customers' orders on the plane. we're trying to go digital also in that sense. It's a learning process because we were big, small. We're actually a small startup from 200 employee, and now we got 24,000. And some of the systems we are changing, so it's a learning process. But
Okay.
the good part about here is we have a flat organization structure that helps a lot compared to the other legacy companies, and
Okay.
that helps a lot because we have just like executive, uh, manager, and HOD level. Only three layers. Unlike other companies, you maybe have five or six or seven layers
Even more,
in the
yeah.
company.
Yeah.
So we try to keep it flat, and even people like us, we can just go up to Tony Fernandes' desk, and he's okay. We don't have to like go through three or four people to meet him.
Okay, great. Now let's talk about your passion, yeah, the esports. Uh, before we go really into it, it's can you just explain to some of the people out there who still don't know what the esports are?
Esports is not what we used to think it is, of a young kid playing under the basement, eating pizza, while the mom is asking him to go get a real job. It's a industry by itself. It's very massive. If you don't know what is esport, you better start googling about it. Uh, so it's like playing video games, but there are millionaires who make money out of doing esports, and it's no longer just a fad or just a game wasting time. It's actually a career, and there are many case studies out there that prove that you can make a living and a career out of esport. And of course, you have to work hard for it. And there's an industry growing out right now, not just being in front of the camera, but also production, doing talent management, and being a professional player, or being a shoutcaster, a broadcaster, or even being an influencer. So there are many verticals in esports.
Okay.
And it's really booming right now, and the market projection is just going to go up year on year.
Okay, so I mentioned before that AirAsia sponsors one of the Dota 2 teams who won one of the major recent tournaments. How do you fit esports fit in this bigger AirAsia digital culture that you were talking about before? What is your vision behind investing in esports?
Interestingly enough, we realized that the market out there, the next generation, they are no longer reading physical newspapers. They hardly watch television on the screen. They are all online on either the PC or laptop or mobile device. So we realized that majority of these millennials and Generation Z digital natives, they also use pop-up blockers, pop-up ads. So one of the most effective ways to connect with them is actually through esports, because they find passion in it. Even traditional sports are now also looking to esports because their viewership is dropping for traditional sports, such as even American football or
Yeah.
baseball and basketball. So yeah, there's a paradigm shift there. So the market has to catch up to be relevant. And we at AirAsia is always open to innovative ways to connect with our customers as well as potential employees. And by embracing esports, it has three verticals for us. The first vertical is good as an employee engagement. So our current employees, our AllStars, they can play with each other across the group. They don't have to physically meet up like other sports like football or badminton or soccer. They can actually play online from the comfort of their home. So that's the first one, employee engagement. Second one is employer branding. When you do esports in your company and you promote it internally, it looks good to people who want to join your company because you are cool and happening. Imagine today we have a chess club. Uh, it doesn't resonate so well, yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe 50 years ago, yeah?
Yeah.
So we need to keep up with the times. Don't be in a Kodak or Nokia movement, People say need to innovate. I think it's going digital, and esports is the sport of the digital generation. So whether you like it or not, it's already happening. So that's why we decided to take a calculated risk and get involved because we realized the potential. Of course, we started small, and we wanted to scope the market. So that's why we sponsored Mineski first. And
Okay.
recently we just acquired a team called Team Cyan, which we rebranded to AirAsia Cyan. It's a mobile esports team, and we will be expanding it in future as well. And who knows, maybe our employees, if they're good enough, they can also join the team.
Okay. Now, to me, as a digital marketing, what you said is a really interesting and great concept because basically you want to be where your customers are. And like you said, with the pop-up blocker, with the physical now, all the new generations are in the digital space, and eSport is one of the booming digital environments and spaces. Did you have any feedback already from, let's say, your marketing team about the awareness or the reach that you had through this new platform?
Sorry, your first question again? Marketing?
Yeah, did you had any feedback from your marketing team how this new how reaching to new consumers work with esports?
They're very excited. I'm actually having a meeting next week with them to discuss further on this, to see how we can integrate our verticals across the group with esports, and also add value to the esports community by maybe giving out promo codes or special incentives to fly to certain destination for esports events, like esports tourism in future. And I think the airline, I believe that's how a company like AirAsia can add value to the community. And right now we are just going on an awareness drive to start baby steps. But moving forward, we will be able to add value to those who are really passionate about the game. And we have been very aggressive in connecting with our local community. In example, in Malaysia, reaching out to them, having a lot of coffee chats just to understand what is the community and market like about. And moving forward, we also scale it up to other different countries that we operate in, such as Philippines, Indonesia, Thailand, in India, Japan, and even China. So it's totally big opportunity there to scale up, since we operate across the region of ASEAN and Asia. And what a great way to be connecting people via our airlines.
Okay, no, I think it's really a great innovation and great concept. So not to lose too much of your time anymore. One of the things as a digital enthusiast, and I saw you recently subscribed to Diggintravel newsletter as well. What are the digital concepts that you are more interested or would like to hear more about in the future?
Keep up the good work. I received your weekly newsletter, right? I think.
Good.
Yeah, it's very. I love it. It's very personalized. It sounds like it's coming from you direct.
It is.
Because of your, yeah, the way how you reword your sentences, very personalized. I feel connected compared to other type of random emails.
Okay.
And I look forward to hearing more what other airlines are doing in this space. But you don't only cover airline, right? You cover non-airline as well?
Yeah, mostly we focus on, let's say, digital for airlines, in general travel, but mostly airlines. What we started now, and this interview is also part about our digital talks, where we'll just talk about with digital leaders or people from leading companies. We talked with person from Booking.com, and now it will be also from other airlines about various digital topics. Thank you very much for your time. It was really great interview. I think a lot of new insights, and we'll be in touch. Yeah.